Supporters of Niger's military coup have taken to the streets to protest threats of military intervention. On Friday, the West African regional bloc, known as ECOWAS, said it would activate a standby force that could be deployed to restore the country's president to power. Thousands gathered outside a French army base in the capital, Niamey, to voice their opposition. Protesters shouted "Down with France" and waved Russian flags. France has nearly 1,500 troops stationed in Niger, part of a force battling a jihadist insurgency in the Sahel region. Well, for more, I'm joined now by DW correspondent Amaka Okoye, who is in Abuja in neighboring Nigeria. Amaka, good to see you. So we just mentioned that ECOWAS has activated a standby force for possible military intervention in Niger. What more can you tell us about that?
That's right, Mariana. That's a statement which many people have really described as being vague in terms of how do you want to go about that? What's the logistics? Who are those who are going to be there? What does it translate to? Has, raised more concerns. But interestingly, kind of increased the support of, Nigerians for the coupists, like you did mention, and like we saw visuals yesterday, we saw thousands of Nigerians, in the capital showing support for the coupists. But on the other side also, when the mention of the deployment of military intervention, possible military intervention was made, along it also was the increase of sanctions, which means that for, ordinary Nigerians, things are becoming really tighter and harder. And so there is palpable anger when you speak to the average Nigerian, anger towards ECOWAS for really seemingly letting them down, and anger also towards other nations who are in support of, ECOWAS activation of this standby force. So there seem to be a lot of emotions. On the one hand, there is support, there is excitement, there is a show of strength and resolve, by the people. On the other hand, also there is concerns, there are fears. What could this mean for, the average Nigerian? How would life translate? Is this going to lead to a serious war or, attack on the people? So it is mixed feelings really on, the both sides, if you like, Mariana.
Well, there are also concerns about Niger's detained president, Mohamed Bazoum. What's known about his condition?
That's right. The African Union and the European Union also have just voiced concerns about, the condition in which he's been kept. He's not allowed access to family or friends. Earlier within the week, the Human Rights Watch said they spoke to him. He's okay, but the conditions in which he's kept is very, very cruel. And I feel like, with the threat from the coupists to say that they could assault him, should there be really any military intervention, it is right to say that even mentally, he would be stressed to be in that condition. His family as well is held together with him. He did mention that his son, his 20-year-old son, is also sick and can't get medical attention. And so even the United Nations rights chief did also say that the conditions in which he's kept can really amount to, the violations of international human rights. So currently, he is not in the best of place, if you like, even though and that's also rather an indication that, the coupists are not ready to relinquish power as long as they continue to hold him and hold his family members is quite concerning, the situation. And not so much also have been heard from him directly, apart from, human rights saying they spoke to him earlier. So far, that's what we know. We're still looking. No one is sure whether what happens to him next or to members of his family. Indeed, that concern is also growing. Even within the region, ECOWAS itself, have said that they need to release him. If we also reference the president of Côte d'Ivoire, Ouattara, saying that, holding him, he kind of personally sees that as an act of terrorism. So yes, concerns are growing.
That was DW's Amaka Okoye in Abuja. Amaka, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.